All right, let's take you now to our top story, and that is just checking the violence in Mozambique and the situation there at some of the border posts. SABC News reporter Nonhlanhla Jele is standing by with the latest. Nonhlanhla, just talk to us about where you are at the moment. We do understand, of course, there is violence at the Lebombo border post, but it has also spread to the Ressano Garcia border post.
Good afternoon to you, Unati, and to the viewers at home. Indeed, we are outside the Lebombo border post. As you can see behind me, the gate is currently closed. If you remember correctly, Unati, yesterday, the port of entry was partially opened. This, of course, Unati, to allow travelers in South Africa who are going back to Mozambique to be able to get home. And, of course, for South Africans who are stuck in Mozambique to come back. What Lungile is currently showing you now is where the trucks are actually being processed at this port of entry. As you can see, it's a standstill. We understand even yesterday when the BMA Commissioner, Dr. Mike Masiapato, spoke to us, he said to us, trucks are not being allowed or being processed at the moment because their safety has not been guaranteed in Mozambique. You spoke about Ressano Garcia. Ressano Garcia is the name of the border post in Mozambique. When you're in Mozambique coming to South Africa, it's also a name of a small town that is located just a few kilometers after the border post. There's also violence in that area. So that violence in that area, the protest is actually spilling into the border post. As you can see, Lungile will also show you what is happening to my right. You see a BMA vehicle, the guard, the border guard, but you also see a group of gentlemen standing there. These gentlemen are saying to us they are actually Mozambican nationals trying to cross to Ressano Garcia just to get their visas, their work permits stamped so that they can go back to South Africa and continue working. Unfortunately, they've been standing here since 1 o'clock this afternoon and nobody has assisted them. Just after them, Unati, you can see there are stalls there. Just after the stalls, there are bushes there. In those bushes are some inroads that Mozambican nationals are using illegally when they want to cross the border illegally. So that is where they're also trying to access routes, Unati, back to their country. But as you can see, the border post remains closed until further notice. I'm sure we're going to get an update later on from the BMA Commissioner, Dr. Mike Masiapato, as to what are the talks. Are the talks still ongoing? Because yesterday, of course, talks, Unati, were still ongoing about whether they're going to fully open the border port or whether they're going to partially keep it closed. But I see Lungile is calling one of the gentlemen who promised Unati to speak to us about one of the reasons why they are here. Baba, thank you so much for your time and for joining us at the SABC. Kazele, you are here. What are you here to do exactly?
Le manisiswa ngetindzaba tamavisa ethu maphela namuhla manje sifika la gedini bathi bavalile lapha bayala kusingena siyobosishayela sitokhona kujike kuvela kwamabhudu angeke sikhone ukuvalekile mara siwacela kuba siniketa something ngale ichaza ukuthi lokhu sibuya ilanga lekuvuleka singatholi inkinga ku ipassport ingandlulelwa ngilanga linye uyohlala umnyaka ekhaya eningala sisemsebenzini sister wenda nje.
Siyabonga baba. Unati, as you have heard, as I explained earlier on, that they are actually here just to get their work visa stamped so that they can go back into South Africa and continue working. He says that should they miss today's opportunity and not have their visa stamped, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to go back and stay at home for a whole year and wait to start the process of applying for a visa again. Also, Unati, we understand and also hear that it's a standstill in Mozambique as we speak, from Ressano Garcia to Matola to Maputo. All these other small villages around Maputo are also a standstill. Nothing is working, no taxis, nobody is moving in and out. And as the gentleman said to us, he also cannot even go back home because nothing is working. There is no transport. As we stand, the border remains closed. I'm sure we're going to get an update from the BMA Commissioner. Unati?
Thank you so much, Nonhlanhla, for that. Nonhlanhla Jele out there for us, monitoring those escalating violence. Of course, this is having ripple effects across various industries too. And we will be speaking to the Trucking Association just to get and gauge how it has been affecting them. Of course, these tensions and the violence is escalating because it follows the election results in Mozambique. The Electoral Commission in that country declared the governing party, Frelimo, the winner of the recently concluded elections. There's been international reaction to this violence, with the International Relations Minister Nonhlanhla also calling for calm and restraint. SADC's chair, President Emmerson Mnangagwa, has also called for an urgent meeting in Harare. We've, of course, heard from Amnesty International about the situation in Mozambique, with several people having died from the violence. But we'll keep you abreast in terms of what is happening there.